Warning: your balance doesn't disappear overnight. It weakens silently, long before you notice it. And by the time most people realize it's gone, it's already too late. That sudden wobble, that hesitation before stepping forward, that need to grab onto something just in case. These are not random signs of aging. They are signals, clear, urgent warnings from your body that your stability system is shutting down. But here's the truth most people never hear. Balance is not lost because you're getting older. It's lost because you've stopped training it. And today, you're going to discover the one simple exercise that can rebuild it. Without a gym, without equipment, and without medication. Balance loss is often misunderstood as an unavoidable consequence of getting older, but that belief is not only inaccurate, it is dangerous. The truth is far more precise and far more empowering. What people experience as age-related balance decline is, in most cases, the result of weakening stabilizing muscles and a gradual breakdown in neuromuscular coordination. This process does not happen suddenly. It develops quietly over time, often without obvious symptoms, until the body can no longer compensate. The human body is designed with an intricate balance system that relies on constant communication between the brain, muscles, joints, and sensory receptors. These systems must work in perfect harmony to keep you upright and stable. However, when stabilizing muscles, especially those in the ankles, hips, and core, are not regularly challenged, they begin to weaken. Unlike larger muscles that are used in everyday movements like walking or lifting, stabilizing muscles are only activated when the body is forced to control instability. This is where the real problem begins. Most older adults continue to move, but they move in predictable, repetitive ways, walking the same paths, sitting and standing in familiar patterns, and avoiding movements that feel uncertain. While this may feel safe, it actually accelerates decline. The body adapts to what it practices. If it is not challenged to stabilize, it loses that ability. Neuromuscular coordination, the connection between your brain and your muscles, also begins to slow when it is not actively trained. This coordination is what allows you to react quickly when you trip, slip, or shift your weight unexpectedly. Without regular stimulation, the signals between the brain and body become delayed. Even a fraction of a second can make the difference between catching yourself and falling. What makes this issue more concerning is that it often goes unnoticed in its early stages. A slight wobble when turning, a brief hesitation before stepping onto uneven ground, a subtle reliance on furniture or walls for support. These are not random occurrences. They are early indicators that the stabilizing system is weakening and the body is losing its ability to respond efficiently. The misconception that aging alone is responsible leads many people to accept these changes rather than address them. This acceptance creates a cycle of reduced activity, increased caution, and further decline. The less the body is challenged, the weaker it becomes. The weaker it becomes, the more cautious movement becomes. Over time, this cycle significantly increases the risk of falls and loss of independence. However, this process is not irreversible. The body retains its ability to adapt and improve at any age, provided it is given the right stimulus. Stabilizing muscles can be strengthened. Neuromuscular coordination can be sharpened. Balance can be rebuilt. But it requires intentional effort and the right type of movement. Movements that challenge stability rather than avoid it. Understanding this truth changes everything. Balance is not something you passively maintain. It is something you actively train. When you begin to challenge your body in ways that require control, focus, and stability, you reactivate systems that may have been dormant for years. The body responds quickly when given the opportunity, recognizing that balance loss is not simply aging, but a result of disuse, places control back where it belongs, in your hands. It shifts the mindset from acceptance to action. And that shift is the first and most important step toward preventing decline and preserving independence. The body does not fail without warning. It communicates continuously, sending subtle signals long before any serious consequence appears. In the context of balance, These signals are often quiet, easily dismissed, and dangerously misunderstood. What most people interpret as minor inconvenience or just a bad day is, in reality, the early stage of a declining stability system that is struggling to maintain control. The first signs rarely appear as dramatic events. They show up in small, almost unnoticeable ways: a slight sway while standing still, a moment of hesitation before stepping off a curb, a tendency to look down more often while walking. These behaviors may seem insignificant, but they reflect a deeper issue. Your body is beginning to lose confidence in its ability to stabilize itself. As stability weakens, the body instinctively tries to compensate. You may find yourself widening your stance when standing, gripping railings more tightly, or moving more slowly than before. These adjustments are not conscious decisions. They are protective responses, driven by a nervous system that senses instability and attempts to reduce risk. While these compensations can temporarily prevent a fall, they also mask the underlying problem, allowing it to progress unnoticed. Another critical warning sign is the increased reliance on external support. Resting a hand on furniture while walking through a room, reaching for a wall when turning, feeling uneasy in open spaces without something nearby to hold on to. These actions signal that your internal balance mechanisms are no longer sufficient on their own. The body is seeking stability from the environment because it cannot fully generate it internally. Reaction time also begins to decline, often without immediate awareness. When balance is strong, the body responds instantly to shifts in weight or unexpected movement. When it weakens, that response becomes delayed. You may stumble slightly before recovering or feel a brief loss of control that resolves itself. These moments are often brushed off, but they are clear indicators that neuromuscular coordination is slowing down. Vision starts to play a larger role as well. You may notice a growing dependence on watching your steps, especially on uneven surfaces. This happens because the body is compensating for reduced proprioception, the internal sense of where your body is in space. When this sense weakens, the brain relies more heavily on visual input to maintain balance. This shift increases vulnerability in low-light conditions or unfamiliar environments where visual cues are limited. Fatigue becomes another revealing factor. Tasks that once felt effortless, standing for extended periods, walking longer distances, or navigating stairs, begin to feel more demanding. This is not simply a matter of endurance. It reflects the extra effort required for the body to maintain stability when its systems are no longer operating efficiently. The muscles are working harder, the brain is more engaged, and the overall system becomes strained. Perhaps the most overlooked signal is the growing sense of caution or fear. You may feel less confident moving quickly or trying new activities. You may avoid situations that challenge your balance, even if you cannot clearly explain why. This emotional response is not irrational. It is rooted in the body's awareness of its declining capability. Fear, in this case, is a signal, not a weakness. Ignoring these early warnings allows the problem to deepen. The body continues to adapt to instability by limiting movement and avoiding challenges, which only accelerates the decline. What begins as a minor imbalance can gradually lead to a significant loss of control, increasing the likelihood of a fall. Recognizing these signals early creates an opportunity for intervention. It allows you to address the root cause before it leads to serious consequences. The body is not failing, it is asking for attention. And when that attention is given through the right kind of training and movement, these warning signs can be reversed, restoring both stability and confidence in a way that feels natural and controlled. The human body is remarkably efficient, but it follows one uncompromising rule: it only maintains what it is forced to use. When it comes to balance, this rule becomes critically important. Many assume that improving stability requires complex routines, multiple exercises, or specialized equipment. In reality, the opposite is often true. One precise, targeted movement, performed consistently, can reactivate the entire balance system and begin reversing decline. This is not about doing more. It is about doing what matters most. Balance is controlled by a network of systems that must work together in real time. Your muscles provide strength and support. Your joints detect position and movement. Your nervous system processes information and sends rapid signals to adjust your posture. When these systems are not challenged, they become inefficient. Signals slow down. Muscles respond late. Control weakens. A single well-chosen movement has the power to bring all of these systems back online simultaneously, not because it is complicated, but because it demands coordination, focus, and control. It places the body in a position where stability is no longer optional, it is required. When you perform a targeted balance movement, something immediate happens beneath the surface. Small stabilizing muscles, often ignored in daily activity, are forced to engage. These muscles do not generate large, visible movements, but they are essential for maintaining alignment and preventing instability. Once activated, they begin to regain strength and responsiveness. At the same time, the nervous system becomes more alert. The brain increases its communication with the body, sending faster and more precise signals. This process improves reaction time, allowing you to correct imbalance before it becomes a fall. The connection between mind and body, which may have weakened over time, starts to rebuild with each repetition. Consistency is what transforms this movement from a simple action into a powerful intervention. Performing it once may create awareness, but repeating it daily creates adaptation. The body learns, it adjusts, it becomes more efficient. What initially feels difficult begins to feel controlled. What once required effort becomes natural. There is also a psychological shift that occurs. As stability improves, confidence follows. Movements that once felt uncertain begin to feel secure. This confidence is not based on assumption. It is built on physical capability. The body proves to itself that it can maintain balance, and the mind responds by reducing fear and hesitation. The simplicity of a single movement often leads people to underestimate its value. They look for something more advanced, more intense, more complicated. But complexity is not what the body needs. It needs repetition of the right stimulus. It needs to be placed in situations where it must stabilize, adjust, and respond. Over time, the benefits extend beyond the exercise itself. Improved balance influences every movement you make: standing, walking, turning, reaching. Daily activities become safer and more efficient. The risk of sudden instability decreases. The body regains its ability to adapt to unexpected changes in position or environment. This approach is not about temporary improvement. It is about rebuilding a foundational skill that supports independence. When balance is restored, the impact is far-reaching. It affects mobility, confidence, and overall quality of life. The most important factor is not intensity or duration. It is commitment. A single movement, performed with focus and consistency, can produce significant change. The body does not require perfection. It requires repetition and challenge. Understanding that one targeted action can influence such a complex system shifts the way balance is approached. It removes the need for overwhelm and replaces it with clarity. The path to improvement becomes direct and achievable, grounded in the principle that the right movement, done consistently, has the power to restore what has been gradually lost. There is a widespread belief that walking is the ultimate solution for maintaining health in later years. It is often recommended as the safest, simplest, and most effective form of exercise. While walking offers clear benefits for cardiovascular health and general mobility, it does not address one of the most critical aspects of physical independence: balance strength. This misunderstanding creates a dangerous gap. Many older adults walk regularly, sometimes every day, and assume they are protecting themselves from falls. They feel active, they feel consistent, and they believe they are doing enough. Yet despite this effort, balance continues to decline. The issue is not a lack of activity. It is a lack of the right kind of stimulus. Walking is a forward-moving, repetitive motion. The body follows a predictable pattern, step after step, with minimal variation. Once this pattern is learned, it requires very little conscious effort. The nervous system becomes efficient at executing the movement, but efficiency in this context means reduced challenge. The body is no longer being pushed to adapt or improve balance. By contrast, is not built through repetition alone. It is built through instability, through controlled disruption, through situations that force the body to adjust in real time. Walking on a flat, familiar surface does not create these conditions. It does not require the muscles to stabilize in unpredictable ways. It does not demand rapid corrections or heightened awareness. As a result, key stabilizing muscles remain underused. The ankles, hips, and core are not fully engaged in the way they need to be for true balance development. These muscles are responsible for making quick, precise adjustments when the body is challenged. Without targeted activation, they weaken over time, even in individuals who remain physically active. Another limitation of walking is its lack of multidirectional movement. Real-life situations are rarely linear. You turn, you pivot, you step sideways, you adjust to uneven surfaces. These movements require coordination and strength that walking does not train. When the body is not exposed to these variations, it becomes less prepared to handle them when they occur unexpectedly. Reaction time is also largely unchallenged during walking. Because the movement is predictable, the brain does not need to process sudden changes or send rapid corrective signals. This leads to a gradual slowing of neuromuscular response. When an unexpected shift does happen, a misstep, a slip, a sudden obstacle, the body may not react quickly enough to prevent a fall. There is also a psychological component. Walking often feels safe, controlled, and comfortable. While this encourages consistency, it can also create a false sense of security. The absence of difficulty is interpreted as effectiveness, when in reality, it may indicate a lack of sufficient challenge. The body improves only when it is pushed beyond its current level of ability. This does not mean walking should be avoided. It remains an important part of overall health. However, it must be understood for what it is and what it is not. It supports endurance and circulation, but it does not rebuild balance strength. Relying on it alone leaves a critical aspect of physical function unaddressed. To truly maintain and improve balance, the body must be exposed to movements that challenge stability directly. Movements that require control, focus, and adaptation. Without this, even a consistent walking routine cannot prevent the gradual decline of the systems responsible for keeping you upright and secure. Recognizing this limitation is not discouraging, it is clarifying. It allows for a more effective approach, one that combines the benefits of walking with targeted balance training. This combination addresses both general fitness and specific stability, creating a more complete and protective strategy for long-term independence. Understanding that walking alone is not enough shifts the focus from quantity of movement to quality of movement. It emphasizes the need for intention, for choosing exercises that directly impact balance rather than assuming all activity provides the same benefit. This awareness is essential for preventing decline and maintaining control over how the body moves and responds in everyday life. Preventing falls is often framed as a matter of being careful, move slowly, hold on to railings, avoid risky situations. While these precautions may reduce immediate danger, they do not solve the underlying problem. Caution is a temporary strategy. It does not strengthen the body, improve reaction time, or restore the systems responsible for maintaining balance. The reality is far more direct. Falls are not prevented by avoiding movement. They are prevented by preparing the body to handle movement effectively. This requires strength, coordination, and the ability to respond instantly to unexpected changes. Without these qualities, even the most cautious individual remains vulnerable. When the body is trained properly, it develops the capacity to recover from instability. A sudden shift in weight, a misstep on uneven ground, or a quick change in direction does not automatically lead to a fall. Instead, the muscles engage, the joints stabilize, and the nervous system reacts with speed and precision. This response is not accidental. It is the result of consistent training that conditions the body to handle stress. Strength plays a central role in this process. Not just general strength, but targeted strength in the muscles responsible for stabilization. The ankles must be able to adjust quickly to changes in surface. The hips must control lateral movement. The core must maintain alignment under shifting conditions. These muscles work together to create a stable foundation, allowing the body to remain upright even when balance is challenged. Equally important is the speed of response. Balance is not a static ability. It is dynamic, constantly adjusting to maintain control. The nervous system must detect changes in position and send signals to the muscles almost instantly. When this system is slow or untrained, the body cannot correct itself in time. A delay of even a fraction of a second can be the difference between recovery and a fall. Training the body to respond faster requires deliberate exposure to controlled instability. This means practicing movements that challenge balance in a safe and progressive way. Standing on one leg, shifting weight, or performing controlled transitions forces the body to engage its stabilizing systems. Over time, these systems become more efficient, more responsive, and more reliable. Coordination is another critical factor. The body must be able to integrate information from multiple sources, visual input, joint position, and muscle feedback to maintain stability. When coordination declines, movements become less precise, and the risk of missteps increases. Training that emphasizes control and awareness helps restore this integration, allowing the body to move with confidence and accuracy. Relying solely on caution can actually contribute to decline. When movement is limited out of fear, the body receives less stimulation. Muscles weaken, reaction time slows, and coordination deteriorates further. This creates a cycle where reduced activity leads to increased vulnerability, reinforcing the very fear that caused the limitation in the first place. Breaking this cycle requires a shift in approach. Instead of focusing only on avoiding risk, the focus must move toward building capability. This means challenging the body in ways that improve its ability to stabilize, react, and adapt. It means training not just for safety, but for resilience. Confidence grows naturally from this process. As the body becomes stronger and more responsive, the fear of falling begins to diminish. Movements that once felt uncertain become controlled. The need for constant caution decreases because the body is better equipped to handle instability. True fall prevention is proactive, not passive. It is based on preparation rather than avoidance. By training the body to respond with strength and speed, the risk of falls can be significantly reduced. This approach not only protects physical health, but also preserves independence and quality of life. Understanding that prevention is rooted in training rather than caution changes the entire perspective. It replaces fear with action, limitation with capability, and uncertainty with control. The body becomes an active participant in maintaining stability, rather than something that must be constantly protected from failure.